Reading Saigyo's Poems of a Mountain Home, translated by Burton Watson, May 27th, 2018, and it's a rainy day in New York. Do you think he would like this weather? He liked to listen to the rain. He didn't like it. He listened to the rain. It kept him company. Some of these poems are in the Sankashu and the Shinkokensu, which are collections of poetry from early Japan. We come to part 20. Yes. Though in mind, you may journey easily into the depths of the mountain, but without living here, how can you know their loneliness? That was in the last reading, right? That's all right. It's a connecting poem. Let's see. Though in mind you may journey easily into the depths of the mountains, without living here, how can you know their loneliness? So we could travel to Japan and go up to the mountains, but if we don't get a hut and stay there, then we'd have to stay there a long time. Who lives there learning such loneliness? Mountain village where rains drench down from an evening sky. It's raining today. This seems to be the appropriate poem. Who lives there learning such loneliness? The mountain village where rains drench down from an evening sky. It's a good poem for today, huh? I was just thinking about all those people who go like on spiritual retreats and they pay a lot of money for their retreat, and then they go and they sit to do mindfulness training and all this stuff. What happens if people just go stay in a cabin in the woods by themselves for a week? That's what they used to do. But anyways, here we are. Hearing that someone was embarking on an unthinkable course, I sent this from Mount Koya to the person whom it was reported. Somebody's embarking on an unthinkable course. Not stopping to mark the trail, let us push even deeper into the mountain. Perhaps there's a place where bad news can never reach me. We've encountered these poems, like we were saying, we complain about how watching the news is almost always negative. We're about ready to shut it off. Here we have, there is no way to determine the exact nature of the distressing report that reached Saigyo, and the background of the poem remains a riddle. Actually, I thought there was war in the capital or something happened. I read somewhere else that there's some sort of fighting or war. But anyways, not stopping to mark the trail let me push even deeper into the mountain. Perhaps there's a place where bad news can never reach me. Smart to turn off the news. Hmm. A seedling pine in the garden, when I saw it long ago, years have gone by, and now I hear the storm winds roaring in its topmost branches. Hmm. Now some years have passed here. It says, a seedling pine in the garden, when I saw it long ago. Years have gone by, and now I hear the storm winds roaring in its topmost branches. That's a nice poem. Now he says, could this be it? The spot where I lived long ago. Moonlight glitters in the dew on the muckwork. Could this be it? The spot where I lived long ago. Moonlight glitters in the dew on the muckwork. Now he says, if I can find no place fit to live, let me live in no place, in this hut of sticks, flimsy as the world itself. Interesting. In the last two lines of the original, there's a play on the word Sheba. Sheba, sticks or brushwood, material from which the recluse's house is made, and shibashi, fleeting, which can apply both to the hut and the world as a whole. So Sheba and shibashi. Sheba is sticks and shibashi is fleeting sticks. There he uses it in this Japanese poem. We're reading from Saigyo's poetry. If I can find no place fit to live, let me live no place. In this hut of sticks, flimsy as the world itself. Seems he is detaching. As a Buddhist, he's sort of like a Zen Buddhist. Zen Buddhists like to claim him for Spain. Well, he can't be claimed, but the Zen Buddhists want to take him. But he's really, my mind I send with the commune that goes beyond the mountain. But what of this body left behind in darkness? Alright, the mountain here stands for the Western Paradise of Amida Buddha. So it seems that some of the original teachings that they thought the original stuff from Buddha was inaccessible and was in decline. But if you went to the Amida, went to the Western Paradise, there was this Amida Buddha where you could find salvation. Not to mention the moon itself symbolizes the light or the enlightenment. And in fact, one sees the moon, and in fact, one sees first a star, then the sun, then the moon, and then it breaks open. But anyways, he says, my mind I send with the moon that goes beyond the mountain. But what of this body left behind in darkness? I don't know what about it. You left it. Here he says, when the priest Jajuken urged people to join him in composing 100 poem sequences, I declined to participate. But while I was on my way on a pilgrimage to Kumano, I had a dream in which the Beto Tonki appeared and said to Seiji, "Through all other things may decline, the way of Japanese poetry alone continues without change. Even in this latter age, one should compose poems as requested." After I woke from the dream, I hastily composed a set of 100 poems earlier requested and sent it to Jakuran. As a postscript, I added this poem. So in his dream, it said that the Japanese poetry would last, and that he should write. So after all, he should write. And he writes this: "Even in a latter age, this art alone remains unchanged. But had I not had that dream, I'd have thought it none of my affair." The priest Jakuran is Fujiwara Sadanaga, died 1202. Tankai, an old friend of Saigyo, was the 18th Eto, or administrator of the Kumano Shrine in the Kai Peninsula, on which Saigyo was making his pilgrimage. He had probably been dead several years at the time of the dream. Senzi is the famous poet. Fujiwara Sanjay, close friend of Seigyo's. I'll read this whole thing again. When the priest Jakurin urged people to join him in composing 100 poem sequences, I declined to participate. But while I was on my way on a pilgrimage to Kumano, I had a dream in which Beto Tanke appeared and said to Sunshai, "Though all other things may decline, the way of Japanese poetry alone continues without change. Even in this latter age, one should compose poems as requested." After I woke from the dream, I hastily composed a set of 100 poems earlier requested and sent it to Jakurin. And as a postscript, I added this poem. Even in a latter age, this art alone remains unchanged. But had I not had that dream, I'd have thought it none of my affair. So he seemed motivated to write it, even though he's not obligated, and he may have just been staying in the woods alone as a hermit, minding his own business. I'll mention that end 20. We have been reading from Saigyo's poetry, Poems of a Mountain Home, by Burton Watson, translator. And he is from Colombia. There he is. There's Saigyo. So, let's see. Stop. We are using that High Sierra. This is in the High Sierra. Macintosh. I actually got High Sierra. And we're in a rainy day in New York.